Previously on Raavacraft.
The idea for Raavacraft started in the summer of 2013. I started teaching myself Worldpainter. Master dimensions let you work with a smaller map in Worldpainter. I don't need to cut the map up into tiles anymore. I just have to make a 1/16th scale map. So, how big is a 1/16th scale map? Welcome to Raavacraft. I'm your host, Will. I know today's episode is called Heightmap, but it should really be called
I messed up.
I didn't do enough preparation and made a lot of mistakes. I'll describe them in a bit, but first, I need to explain heightmaps. A heightmap is an image containing topographical information. Here's a heightmap of the Grand Canyon. White on the image represents the tallest point, and black the lowest point. My goal today is to paint the geography of the Avatar world in Photoshop. Later on, I'll be importing this heightmap into Worldpainter to continue painting there. If you're familiar with Worldpainter, you might be asking yourself why I'm painting a heightmap in Photoshop instead of painting directly in Worldpainter. Two reasons. One, I can use the gradient tool to get rivers to smoothly slope downhill. It's very hard to do that in Worldpainter. Second, Photoshop lets me add an inner glow to a layer, so I can get smooth transitions along the coast. I really wish Worldpainter had a grade tool like City Skylines. There's even a perfectly good spot for such a tool right here. I'll probably submit a feature request, but I don't want to delay this episode any further. Years ago, I painted this heightmap. I was tempted to just use this image, but I realized I can't. I have to start from scratch for two main reasons.
It's not as amusing the second time, boy.
The first is that I painted this before Minecraft increased the world height, so the elevations would be all wrong. I have the spreadsheet comparing the differences between Minecraft versions. On the left is where I was planning to put the sea level on Serpent's Pass. On the right is where I plan to put stuff now that Mojang increased the world height. Second, I don't have any footage of painting it, so I wouldn't have a time-lapse for this episode. That was probably my first mistake, starting over for the sake of having 17 hours of time-lapse footage, but this is YouTube, so take your content. My second mistake was skipping a step, but we'll skip that story for now and get back to it later. I had an idea for how to tackle the Great Divide that I thought was so clever. I started with this stitched panorama of the Great Divide. Then, I eyeballed the elevations of the different parts of the canyon and I painted them on 3D layers. I thought that I would be able to stack the layers together to get a topographical map, but it didn't work. There goes over 8 hours of work. I did get this flameo animation out of it though. In the end, I cheated, and I used that heightmap of the Grand Canyon. So,
Let's keep flying!
My third mistake was losing sight of what's important. I got carried away, and I spent way too much time painting too much detail on the heightmap. The heightmap was never supposed to be fully detailed. The detail would come in the next step, in Worldpainter. Any detail would get stretched at the end of the process anyway, which leads me back to my second mistake. I didn't do any testing before I started painting. Since I'm working at a 1/16th scale, anything that I paint will get stretched 16 times in each direction. So sharp mountains get stretched to become tall hills. All I had to do was paint a general idea of the geography.
And I completely flubbed it.
The good news is it's done. Here's the finished Heightmap. In the next episode, I'll be working with the map in Worldpainter. Subscribe for more updates.